The vast chamber of the Galactic Council stretched upward into darkness, its crystalline walls reflecting the light of 1,000 distant stars. Ambassador James stood at the human delegation podium, his weathered face showing no emotion as he gathered the data tablets before him. Around him, representatives from 47 species watched in stunned silence. The human delegation formally withdraws from these peace negotiations, James announced, his voice carrying across the chamber with finality. Effective immediately, all human vessels will retreat to our sovereign space. We wish the Council well in their future endeavors. High Counselor Vex, a towering figure with gleaming silver skin, rose from the central dais, his forearms spread in what his species considered a gesture of confusion. Ambassador, surely you cannot be serious. These talks have been in progress for 3 solar cycles. The Dominion threat affects us all. James paused at the chamber door, turning slightly. The Council has made its position clear, High Counselor. Humanity is deemed too violent, too unpredictable to be trusted with joint military operations. We accept your assessment. We will handle the Dominion incursions into our space alone. The human delegation filed out in perfect formation, leaving behind a chamber that suddenly felt much larger, much emptier. Counselor Tam, representing the scholarly keepers, adjusted his optical enhancers nervously. Perhaps we were hasty in our judgment. Vex dismissed the concern with a wave of his upper arms. The humans are only 12% of our combined fleet strength. The coalition will proceed without them. 3 months passed before the first reports arrived. The Dominion, a hive mind species that consumed entire worlds for resources, had launched simultaneous attacks on 7 border systems. The Council fleet responded according to their carefully crafted protocols, moving in precise formations that had been debated and refined in committee for decades. They were slaughtered. The Dominion adapted to their tactics within hours, exploiting every weakness in the rigid battle plans. 5 systems fell in as many days. It was only when the Dominion fleet approached the human border that the reports became truly disturbing. The humans had not engaged. They had simply disappeared. Every human colony, station, and outpost along the border had been evacuated. The Dominion hive mind, finding no resistance and no resources to consume, pressed forward into empty space. Then the human fleet appeared behind them. Admiral Kate Rodriguez commanded the Earth flagship Persistence from a position no sane tactician would choose. Her fleet had somehow moved through Dominion-controlled space undetected, emerging in perfect position to cut off the enemy's supply lines. The battle that followed lasted exactly 17 minutes. The humans did not use the elegant plasma weapons favored by the Council. They used nuclear mines, kinetic bombardments, and something they called aggressive mathematics that involved calculating precisely where to create small tears in spacetime that would cascade into Dominion ships. The Council watched the battle recordings in horror and awe. Where they had fought with honor and precedent, the humans fought with brutal efficiency. Where they had retreated to preserve life, the humans had advanced to end the threat. Every human ship fought as if it were the last defender of their species, because to them, it was. High Counselor Vex called an emergency session. The humans destroyed a Dominion fleet 3 times their size. We must understand how. Counselor Tam pulled up the tactical analysis. They refused to fight by established conventions. When the Dominion adapted to one tactic, the humans had already switched to another. They used their own ships as weapons, ramming them into enemy vessels. They deployed biological weapons that we banned centuries ago. They fought without rules. Without honor, another counselor added with disgust. And yet they won, Tam noted quietly. The next month brought worse news. The Dominion had learned from their defeat and adapted, sending 5 fleets toward human space. The Council prepared to witness the destruction of humanity, some with regret, others with the grim satisfaction of those proved right. The humans vanished again. Every colony, every station, even their homeworld Earth seemed to simply disappear from sensors. The Dominion fleets found empty systems and dead worlds. Confused, the hive mind spread out, searching for their prey. That was when the humans revealed their true nature. They had not fled. They had hidden their entire civilization behind sensor ghosts and false readings, waiting. When the Dominion fleet separated, the humans struck simultaneously at 17 different points. Not at the fleets, but at the Dominion's home systems. While the Council had focused on defending territory, the humans had sent stealth ships on year-long journeys to the heart of enemy space. They deployed weapons the Council had never imagined. Nanoswarms that converted Dominion biomatter into inert carbon. Computer viruses that corrupted the hive mind's neural networks. They even redirected asteroids to strike Dominion worlds using the enemy's own mining equipment against them. The Dominion recalled their fleets in panic, but it was too late. The humans had not sought to win battles. They had sought to win the war. Within 6 months, the Dominion requested terms of surrender. Not to the Council, but to humanity. The humans accepted, but their terms were simple and harsh. Complete withdrawal from all inhabited systems. No expansion for 1,000 years. Any violation would result in the complete extinction of their species. The Dominion agreed immediately. The Council called for humanity to return to the peace talks. But the first response came not from Ambassador James, but from Admiral Rodriguez herself. Her image appeared on the central display, her dark eyes holding no warmth. The Council decided we were too violent to trust. She said simply, "You were right. We are violent. We are unpredictable. We are also the reason you still exist. The Dominion will never threaten you again because they know what we are capable of. But that protection comes with a price." High Counselor Vex leaned forward. "What price?" "Recognition. The Council will acknowledge humanity as a sovereign military power, exempt from your conventions of warfare. You will never again question our methods or seek to restrict our capabilities. In return, we will continue to serve as the shield between civilization and chaos." The Council debated for days. Some argued it was extortion. Others pointed out that humanity had saved trillions of lives. In the end, practicality won. The Council voted to accept humanity's terms. Ambassador James returned to the chamber 1 year after his dramatic exit. This time, he did not stand at the delegate podium, but at the newly created position of military advisor to the Council. The nameplate before him read simply, "Last Resort." During his inaugural address, James spoke words that would be remembered throughout galactic history. "You feared us because we choose violence quickly. What you failed to understand is that we choose it because we have seen what happens when you choose it too late. Every human child learns our history. We know the cost of hesitation. We know the price of defeat. That is why when we fight to end all fighting." Counselor Tam approached him after the session. "Your species terrifies us, Ambassador. You fight without rules, without mercy." James nodded slowly. "We fight without illusions, Counselor. Your species evolved in paradise worlds where cooperation meant survival. We evolved on a death world where only the most violent, most adaptable, most ruthless survived. You see war as a failure of diplomacy. We see it as the final form of communication. And yet you came to peace talks first," Tam observed. "Because we also know the cost of war better than any species in the galaxy. We always try peace first, Counselor. But when peace fails, we don't hesitate. We don't hold back. We don't give our enemies time to adapt or recover. We end them." The following years saw humanity's true integration into galactic society. They became the Council's military advisors, their strategic planners, their last line of defense. When pirates threatened trade routes, human hunters eliminated them. When aggressive species pushed at borders, human fleets pushed back harder. The galaxy learned to appreciate what they had once feared. But perhaps the most important lesson came from High Counselor Vex himself, in his final address before retirement. "We called them violent because they would not hesitate to fight. We called them unpredictable because they would not follow our rules. We nearly lost everything because we could not see past our own prejudice. Humanity's gift to the galaxy was not their violence. It was their willingness to be violent so that we did not have to be. They became our demons so we could remain angels. That is their burden. That is their choice. That is why we owe them more than we can ever repay. The humans never asked for repayment. They asked only for respect, and the right to protect the galaxy in their own way. The Council learned to look away when human fleets disappeared into dark space. They learned not to question the methods when threats simply ceased to exist. They learned that sometimes survival required not just warriors, but monsters willing to become what the darkness feared. And in the deepest parts of human space, on monuments that no alien eyes would ever see, they carved the names of every human who had died in the shadows to keep the light burning for others, because that too was human nature, to remember the cost, to honor the sacrifice, to ensure that when the next threat emerged from the void, humanity would be ready to pull back from peace talks and do what needed to be done. The galaxy slept soundly, protected by the species they had once feared most. And humanity stood watch in the darkness, violent and vigilant exactly as they needed to be,